Dieter Claire is in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. You must have heard about us on Pine Belt Radio.
Indeed.
And how long did you listen to those commercials before you actually started doing Plan Z?
Oh gosh. I'd say probably a year.
Okay.
Every morning on my way to work, when I was working, I'd hear it and I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding. No, come on. This is a DJ diet.
All right. I wanted to see if I could find this post. I had it. There it is. So this was something you posted on Facebook the other day. Tell us about the person on the left and the person on the right. You're both smiling, but what's the difference?
About 50 pounds.
And so I'm looking at this graph of your weight loss, and you said exactly 1 year today, 50 pounds less. My mom used to say, if you don't get that weight off from the 4 kids by the time you're 40, you'll never lose it. So wrong. Don't let anyone tell you. Don't let anyone tell you it's too late to try. So
it is.
How many rounds of reduction did you do?
I've done 2.
Mm-hmm.
I tried a third, but it was in the middle of winter when we had that really cold weather down here. And if anybody's ever been in Hattiesburg or down in the deep south, you realize we don't have insulation in our houses.
Yes.
It was just too cold. I couldn't deal with that. And we have a house on piers, so we had all the cold air coming underneath the house too. Old wood floors, and it was just a hot mess. And I'm like, this is too much. I will just be happy with maintaining my weight, and I will deal with it in the summertime.
Well, I think that's probably a smart thing to do. It's good to spread out some of the rounds anyway.
Yeah.
Your body, the spray works better if you rest a while, and so that's good. Anyway, that post got a lot of attention here at Plan Z.
Well, yeah, because I think there's a lot of us at my age that have heard their mothers go, oh, you're never going to get that weight off after you're 40.
Mm-hmm.
No, it really, no problem whatsoever.
All right, so just describe that process then. You start the diet, you're probably wondering if it'll work for you. Everybody seems to wonder. But how soon did you know this was the real deal?
The funniest thing was I was sitting on the couch and I had my feet up on on my husband's lap while we were watching TV, and he looked at my feet and he said, you know what? You've lost weight in your feet. I was like, well, gee, okay, I'll take that. My first weight loss discovery was that I was losing weight in my feet. But it was about 3 days into reduction that I first lost some weight. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because food was my enemy. I will tell that to everybody over and over again. That I thought if I ate a little bit less food, if I ate just a credit card size, if I ate just a little bit of this, I'll lose weight. I'll lose weight. It'll work. And it's wrong. And so when I started reduction, I actually was so full. I complained to my husband, I'm dying. I am so full. And he goes, but you have to eat it. And I said, well, yeah, but I'm so full. This is wrong. This is wrong. And I'd lay on the couch and just go, I'm dying. I'm not hungry at all. And the next morning I'd lose weight. And I'm like, wait a minute, how can I be so full at lunch, be so full at dinner, and wake up in the morning and lose weight? My mom would say, this is voodoo. This is voodoo. No, it works. I love it.
It's funny because you eat a pound of protein and you eat a couple of cups of vegetables and a couple of pieces of fruit and some of your breadsticks, and you do get full.
Yeah.
And it's probably more than you're eating if you're trying to, count calories or something, because
Oh,
and you may be hungry at a meal, but once you've eaten, you're full again. And then you wake up the next morning and you've lost a half pound or a pound. So you
yeah.
did 2 reductions. So you've dieted about 100 days total. You did 100
Yeah.
days of reduction, or 96 days or whatever that is. But it's amazing how fast it comes off. And then you go into Z Reboot. How did that work for you?
It has been wonderful. I've really enjoyed it. Pretty much everybody we went to a family gathering at Easter, and they were sitting there watching me eat, and they were just like, wait, you're just packing away the food like a pro. How can you eat all that? And I said, well, I'm working my way up to 1,800 calories a day, and I haven't gained really any weight other than maybe a pound less, pound more. I've maintained it and love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, talk about why you love it.
I like food now. I love food.
Yeah.
Before, it was like, whether I eat a bag of cookies or an apple, it's about the same thing. And now I look forward to lunch. I look forward to dinner. My taste buds have changed.
Mhm.
I can taste a lot more subtle things now. My husband and we joke now that we've been eating, better food, more nutritious food, that we're turning into food snobs, that we're like, oh, well, I can taste the herbs. And did you use sage in this today? And I'm like, oh, yes, I did.
Well, how did your husband do? Did he eat the food with you, or was he on the diet? He wasn't on the diet.
No, he didn't. He's one of those lucky fellows that he's gained maybe 5 pounds since college. But he was very supportive. He did eat the food. He ate the food in reduction, and he did eat some other things too. He liked his guilty pleasures that he keeps in his office. But he likes the food too. In fact, he begged me today. He said, can we have that Thai chicken tonight?
Oh,
I really like the Thai chicken, So
I was
I'm
going to
like,
ask you. So that's one of my favorites, and Zola's got an Asian salmon now that she's making, and I think she featured that in one of her recipes recently. I ask for that all the time. Let's talk about some of your other favorite recipes on reduction first, and then Z Life or whatever.
I loved the spaghetti sauce that she has. It was wonderful. I ate a lot of the chicken meal, the pork with cherries. I don't know if that was on the reduction or not, but we did eat it.
That's good too.
Yeah. No, I used to take all of the, make a chicken breast and then cut it up and have probably a pound of chicken just already sliced and ready for sandwiches. Or I would use the taco seasoning that I submitted and put that on the chicken and make, taco chicken salads. Just whatever I could find, I was eating it. We were trying all kinds of different things. It was fun.
So did you plan your meals a meal or two ahead of time, or how did you work that?
When I first started, I did a whole week's worth. I sat down on a Sunday night and I planned a whole week's of menu, which is kind of what I used to do anyway with 4 kids. I used to plan weeks and weeks of menus, but I thought, well, I'll do this again with me. And so I went through the menus and looked at all of the recipes and went, okay, I can do this, and this looks good, and got it all planned out. And then as time went by, I started meal prepping just like 2 days, but I'd make extra food. So I'd have food in the freezer for when I'm stressed out, when it's too busy, when I don't know what I'm going to eat. So I went slide and just grabbed something that I
Oh.
shouldn't be grabbing in the cupboard. That's my husband's treats.
So you had backup.
Always,
Yeah,
always.
I think that's a great strategy. Plan out a whole week and then plan out a couple of days and then have some backup meals in case you don't get a chance to plan anything. It's right there
Yeah.
for you, and you don't have to worry about cheating. Any health benefits? Your feet are skinnier.
I'm skinnier overall. Most of my sugar levels and a lot of my cholesterol is within normal. Still working on a little bit on my high cholesterol, but a lot of it has dropped. My blood pressure is admirable, according to my doctor. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and she walked in and she was just like, whoa. She hasn't seen me for a year. And she was like, where did the rest of you go? I said, well, I left it back somewhere. Somebody else got it. And she says, I think you gave it to me. But my blood pressure is way down now. I'm at 101/60.
Wow.
So I'm doing very well, because before I was on the edge of being pre-diabetic, not anymore.
Nope.
So
were you on blood pressure meds or not?
No.
Okay.
But she was it was one of those things. The last year, she was like, now, Claire, you got to get this under control. And I'm like, I give up. I don't know. So, but the wake up call was COVID and how they talked about all the comorbidities.
Yes.
And I thought, wow, I fit in a lot of these categories. I don't have anything else to do. I'm trapped in the house. I might as well just try to, do my own battle and get healthy and stay healthy. So scared my grandson. I have to tell you, one of the benefits is we went to visit my grandson. I haven't seen him for 6 months.
Uh-huh.
And he's at that age where he likes to run around, catch me, catch me. And he said, catch me, catch me. And I kicked off my clogs and I went after him. And his reaction was like, wah! He was so surprised. It shocked him that grandma could tear out after him and actually catch him. So he was not used to that. He was used to grandma kind of going, yeah, okay. He did not expect that one. And my youngest daughter has never seen me thin. She's known me at 200 plus all her life.
Mm-hmm.
She hugged me this past weekend, and she goes, Mama, you're so small now. I said, yeah, I am. I am. About the same size I was when I got married the second time. So
wow. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. It's funny. I lost 40 pounds on Plan Z, and I'm at my high school or my college weight, and I'll be 80 in 9 years. So it's great to feel good. It's great not to worry about some of the chronic diseases. And it is that, COVID, the obesity epidemic has killed more people than COVID and will continue to once COVID is eradicated. So it was a great move. And that strategy, I know a lot of people went on Plan Z during the pandemic for that reason. And because where am I going to go? I'm now in control. I can't go to the birthday party. I can't go to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about the Christmas cookies because I'm not going to 8 parties. So it is a big difference. We say that 60% of the benefit of Plan Z is the education, that you kind of you've got to unlearn some things you thought about food and dieting, and you've got to learn some new things. What would you say, Claire, is the most important, one or two of the most important things you've learned?
I've learned that you can eat a lot of food and you can still lose weight. That starvation is not the way to go, and I could see myself at that point seeing, eating less and less and less and not getting the right results.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, you have to eat these things because you need fuel to keep going. You need fuel for muscles and to be healthy. And I can tell a difference. I can so tell a difference every morning, all day long, how much more energy I have with the weight loss and eating better food in general. And I tell people when they ask me about Plan Z, I said, it's very easy because it's eating like your great grandparents and your grandparents. It's before high fructose corn syrup. It's before all of these convenience foods that are just loaded with garbage.
Sugar, salt, and fat.
Yeah, this is what your grandparents, your great grandparents were eating. And this is why your great grandparents and your grandparents weren't fat, that they were healthy because they weren't being loaded with these chemicals. And I have a son-in-law who's been inspired. He hasn't quite started thinking about Plan Z, but he keeps talking to me about it. And he's cutting out the sodas, and he was switching over to diet sodas. And I said, those diet sodas, all those chemicals are going to make you even more sick. And I said, you're going to have headaches. You're going to feel ill once you start cutting those things out. And it's just the bad chemicals in your body leaving.
That's so true. Yeah, it's funny because Zola and I moved to Chattanooga 2 years ago this month. And we lived in Chicago. We lived in Madison, Wisconsin. And Chattanooga is the home of Little Debbie's Snack and Cakes, and the Moon Pie Museum is here. And the first Coca-Cola bottler, the first bottler would get the syrup from Atlanta, and the first bottling company was here in Chattanooga. And so we're about the 9th fattest town in America. But Mississippi, I mean, the food in the South, describe what you had to give up and what that was like. What did you think you were gonna? I can't give up fried okra. I can't give up this. What was it?
Oh my goodness. We moved, backstory, we moved from Virginia. We were in Hampton Roads, and we moved to Ruston, Louisiana. And sorry, Louisiana, but pretty much everything on your plate when you go out to eat in Louisiana is brown, breaded and fried.
I know.
Bless their hearts. They love their fried food. I thought I was going to have to give up Cajun food. And then I found the recipe for jambalaya and the recipe for gumbo. And I was like, praise, there is some Cajun food to eat that I can still eat and love.
Yep.
So that was good. My biggest thing that I had to give up was, this is bad, fried Oreos. There was a gas station that made fried Oreos, and I would go and get gas and a Diet Coke and some fried Oreos. I know the Diet Coke balanced out the fried Oreos, I justified it. But no fried Oreos, no plain Oreos. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, we say you should never fuel your body at the same place you fuel your car.
It's so true.
There is no good food. Well, sometimes you can get an apple at a gas station, but I haven't seen very many.
I wouldn't trust that apple.
All right. Well, Claire, you've done a great job. You're down 50 pounds. You feel better. Your blood pressure's under control. You can catch your grandkids. I love that story.
Yes.
Your doctor was shocked. Did your doctor give you any dieting advice, or just say you gotta get this under control?
She said to just keep doing what I was doing. And she said, just keep working at it and that she'd see me in 6 months. So
Cool.
it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And hopefully in 6 months, I'll be a little bit less. I'm planning to go back on reduction maybe sometime this summer, you know.
Let us know how you're doing. And you can do at your level, where you've already lost 50 pounds, you could do a 3-week reduction and not have to do a 50-day reduction. So you could do shorter bouts of it and just try to lose 5 or 6 pounds at a time, or 10.
Well, my goal is to, before I was listed as morbidly obese. And my goal is to be listed as not obese. I'm almost there.
Yep.
Almost there.
Yep.
So.
No, that's great. Last thing. This has inspired, I know your story has inspired a lot of people. And some of the people that are watching this are still on the fence, or they're just getting ready to start. What would you tell that person that's right at the beginning of the process?
I would tell them to do it. You have nothing to lose but a lot of weight. Because you can do it. I mean, you don't have to wait until you're morbidly obese. I mean, if you're morbidly obese, yes, do this. It might save your life. I mean, I feel like it saved mine. It's like, oh, but you know, you should try. Don't give up. Don't listen to your mamas who say, oh, you're going to be fat the rest of your life if you're over 40. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can eat better and you can do better and you can take care of yourself for your family.